3.
Nice.
And we are live with the BlabberMouths. I'm very excited today that we have Dr. Kim Ballard in the house and Nicholas Enlid. But before we do that, we are ready to unveil. You ready for this, Nick? Unveil the BlabberMouth intro.
Oh, we got it. Here we go.
I'm very excited. I'm going old school, just playing through the speakers. Very excited. Here goes nothing.
You are a blabbermouth.
Love it.
That was great. I believe we can thank Jorge for that one, can't we? Put that together.
Because you are a blabbermouth.
Yeah, that was good. I like that a lot.
Nice. Yes, that was all Jorge.
Look at all those people jumping in.
Rodriguez. Yeah,
Cool.
cool. So we have some EduMatch people. So again, was that 2 Live crew in there, Jorge?
They can all jump in if they want.
No. So anyway, long story short, to pop in, you just hit call in. That circle right in there. Yeah, Jorge did all this. We have a lot of EduMatchers in here, which is, one of the best connected groups that I've come across through Voxer, Twitter. That's from Sarah Thomas. Yep, Sarah the teacher. I know Jorge's in there, pops in. I know Lori's in there. Two Tools in there. Who's this over here? I recognize the face.
There's a lot of people in the house.
Sue was in the house. She's not from EduMatch. She's a good old PE health teacher.
Wow.
So before we get started with our summer projects, which is going to be,
I had to get my glasses on to see all that. That's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool people going on in here.
Yeah.
First, any thoughts from anyone on the Orlando shooting the other day? It has to be addressed at some point in time because not only was it domestic terrorism, on top of it, they targeted the LBGT community. I think you could add a QI and A on the end of that sometimes, we talked about. But it was targeted against them specifically, but we can't really sit there and say that this was an act against that community. It was an act against America. So any thoughts or anything that comes to your head? I see Tutul saying, do we really need AK-47s? Tutul, I'm in a rock and a hard place here. What are your thoughts, Kim?
Well, so I'm in the South, so I think that we carry sometimes a little bit different view, but it's been interesting. I've been on Facebook and some of the social media pieces, just kind of watching what people are saying. And, wow, I have seen people speak up for guns. I have seen people speak up for America in general. But the community is still something I'm not sure everybody's speaking up for. I see some of it. And I don't want to generalize it to the South, but I do think, that, I'm just worried about the fact that some people aren't speaking up enough because of the community that it was striking against. That's the part that bothers me the most. So I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah,
hard as it is to discuss, but it's hard. I'm gonna throw it out.
Nick, what are your thoughts? Anything? Have you been following this?
Yeah, I have quite a bit of family in Orlando. So when I first heard of it, obviously went and checked to see, without knowing really much about it. Just went to check and see, to make sure everybody is all right. And then the second part, actually, a good buddy of mine that I went to high school with, he actually lives in Port St. Lucie. And I know he actually posted a video driving by the guy's house our parents' house. He actually drove by it and filmed video of it. So that part to me kind of, I guess hits me personally, because I know people who were, right up close and could have been involved in everything else. So, I guess that was just my first initial reaction was, thinking about all the people that I know that could have been there, that could have been, personally affected by that. God bless they weren't. And everybody's safe and okay. But
Yeah.
it's just, it's crazy.
So I guess the hard question is everyone going to speak up because of the community that it attacked? Or is this racism? Is it, what is it?
Yeah.
Is it because of the community that,
that
as many people aren't going to speak up? Or is all of America going to rise together in this community against an outside force? Which one is it? That's the hard question.
And one of the things that kind of bothered me was when the shooter's dad comes on and says, "Oh, this was just against gays." That was his thing. It wasn't religious. Well, I mean, your son went on there and said, "I support ISIS." I don't know how we could separate the two. So that was one of my things. We have Tutul in the house, Dr. Tutul. All right. And his point, I guess I'll let him make his point and then we could discuss that. What are your thoughts, sir?
Well, first off, how many of us need AK-47s, right? Like assault rifles. There's one thing if you're going to protect
I can't hear.
intruder, you have a handgun and you do what you have to do. But an assault rifle that shoots off these magazines in minutes and seconds, I think that's a little overkill. But I think that's a symptom. I think there's a bigger issue that's happening that we really need to talk about. And I don't think it helps when our leaders are saying it's us against them, when our leaders are saying, maybe we need to do what we need to do to get our country back, that kind of stuff. It doesn't help the situation any. And it'd be nice if our leaders can be more compassionate, if our leaders can speak to a better tone and be more inclusive. That would be nice. But, when you have folks saying, let's continue the ban on, certain people, and when there's groups of people who are feeling marginalized already and they're hurting and a lot of bad things they see are happening, what are we doing in response to that? So that's my point.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. And for me, when I hear about, when the Second Amendment was created, we only had muskets. And a little bit of that falls flat to me because for me, and again, I'm not a historian, so if we have people who know much better, please hop on, tell me I'm a dummy here or I'm wrong. But they wanted us to be protected against the government in case the government went out of its way and was overstepping its bounds and was starting to take over individuals and go beyond their checks and balances. We wanted to be able to protect ourselves. Well, our cops and our government do not have muskets anymore. They all have semi-automatic weapons. So when we look at what's behind it, that it would only make sense when I use that logic that we should be able to protect ourselves the same. Now,
So Justin,
yes.
let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
When the Constitution was first written and whatever, there was still a threat from the British government coming in and taking over the country, and we had to fight back, right? My question is, are any of us trying to fight against the government? Are any of us trying to, it's us against the police, so I'm going to barricade myself and you and me and everyone here in Blab against, are we still there?
No, not at this point. And it's a valid point, but what about the future? And again, let me get this straight. I'm not a gun dude. I don't like guns. If it was up to me, I'd just wipe all of them off. I don't like shooting. I've shot a gun 10 times or less in my life. I'm not a hunter. I'm not a huge fan of the Second Amendment. I wouldn't want everyone carrying. I don't like guns in any way, shape, or form. But again, when we talk about what was behind, and this was raised by somebody to me that kind of knew history and was talking about it. So that kind of stuck in my head with it. But I agree with you. I don't see us revolting against the government using force anymore. Hopefully our votes would be enough to change whatever's going on. And if enough people, had something to say and do, then we would change it through a grassroots effort, not through violence anymore. So I think you make a very valid point there.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there are people out there who, think that there's going to be a violent revolution and all of us need to be armed. But is that a large majority of us? And how many of us actually are going to use an AK-47? So I don't know, but I just think we need to, talk about some real issues and have a dialogue, not just, you're over there, Justin, so you have your opinion. Who cares? I'm over here. I have my opinion. We talk at each other and not talk about real solutions.
Yeah, and this is a real problem that is affecting all of us now. So definitely needs to be talked about. Dr. D is in the house. What would you like, under the moniker the DC TV 430, our sister show over there? So what's going on there, my sorority sister friends?
Stop it. That's all I can say. Just stop it. Stop shooting up folks because they didn't come to your cookout because they kissed somebody you didn't want to kiss. Just cut it out. Stop. It's just that simple.
Just stop. That's it.
But again, when you talk about groups of people,
Justin, stop it.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, this is called My House. I will see Dr. Dorian later.
Oh, she's out.
Yeah.
Get them to the curb.
Oh, exactly. Cannot be doing that on my show, Dr. D. So anyway, that was great. Oh, I love it right there. So getting back to the point.
There's somebody with too much power right there.
Yeah, true.
I was like, she wants to talk.
If we could do that. No, that was good she came on. No, we love that. If we could just stop it, Dr. D, yeah. If we could just respect each other and say, listen, you do what you need to do, and not resort to violence, we wouldn't be here talking about this right now.
Freedom of speech.
But we do.
Let her speak. Let her speak.
Right. We're gonna run through the whole Constitution, every amendment.
Yeah, and then Jorge on the side is saying there are still revolutions going on out there in other countries. But again, I think those are mostly third world countries. I don't foresee us going through a revolution, but then again, what do I know? I mean, we have to look at history, and at some point in time, there's been revolutions. But however, I mean, we have voting process, we have democracy. That should hopefully, like in France back in the day when they were upset about the monarchy spending all the money and having lavish parties and they couldn't eat, if they could have got together and voted them out, they would have got together and voted them out. It wouldn't have got to that point. So Tutul, that's a really good point there. Do we need that? And then you look at the other civilized countries and their rate of gun violence, and it's all the way down because there are such strict laws against it and who has it. But I think it's one of those.
I wonder about that. Like, we talk about Australia and England. Like, is it if we did that, would it work here? Would we still have would it lower our violence by any, or is it just that's how their society is? This is our society, and it is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, that brings up the good point. Is it comes down to, and people will say all the time too, like, well, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And, is it, a lot of your stand-up legitimate gun owners use it for whatever it might be. It might be for sport. I don't own a gun. I'll never own a gun, but sport, hunting, different things along those lines.
Yeah, but Tutul's saying we're not using an AK-47 to shoot a deer to make deer hot dogs.
Right. But deer hot dogs.
They are delicious with jalapeno cheese. My father runs.
I like deer jerky. But the other thing too, though, is with that, I think a lot of times the people who are using weapons for violence aren't necessarily the ones that are getting them through your legal channels. So are those guns going to find their way into the hands of people who are going to use them illegally or immorally? Yeah, if they want them. So you might have countries that have gun laws that don't sell guns, but I bet there's guns in that country. I bet there's people that own guns in those countries. You just don't know about them because they don't legally acquire them. So,
Dr. Ballard, what do you have to add to this?
Well, I'm just saying, but in this case, he just bought those guns. Like, he went through the system, he did what he needed to do. You know, he got the guns legally. And, you know, I'll tell you, I have a gun, and the reason I have a gun, my daddy told me that, you know, if somebody was coming into my house when I was there, they're coming in for one of two reasons. They're going to rape you, or they're going to kill you. Either way, shoot to kill. That's what I know.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean,
otherwise, if they're coming to rob me, they're coming in when I'm not there. So, if somebody goes into a bar with the intention to shoot or kill or whatnot, they're using a gun for the wrong reason. But they did buy it for the same reason that I have one. So, there thus lies the whole controversy where people have a discussion, I think.
Yeah, and if you want to go into our American psyche, we're a country that's founded on guns. We love guns. I mean, it just without guns, yeah, exactly. I mean, so when we talk about it, very few things bring out as much passion as when we bring up this gun conversation because of that right there, because of our history and because, you know, that was what our country was founded on. I mean, shoot. First, we should be able to say what we think. Next, we should be able to own a gun. I mean, that's kind of missing a lot in between there, isn't there? But whatever, that's the way it is. And I don't want to spend forever on the subject, but to have it and not talk about it right now would be doing a disservice. Any final thoughts before we?
No,
all I know is
I just want to say, you know, we all are thinking about what's going on there, and their families.
Nice.
But at the same
Dr.
time,
Ballard, start that again.
You got to think about it can happen anywhere at any time where you are, where I'm at, where Nick's at, where all these people that are listening tonight's at. It can be anywhere, and so you have to be ready. You just have to be on guard these days.
Yeah, and I do find myself looking around a lot more in general and just at people. I mean, just making sure I'm aware. Like I was in the mall tonight and I was highly aware. I saw 2 security guards. I'm like, hope they have guns in case something goes down. And I guess that's kind of what terrorism does, huh? It puts that thought in your head where 5-10 years ago, I never would have even came up. All righty. So, to Tool, you'll go first on the hot seat here since you're already here. The rest of the blab will be dedicated to summer projects for most of us. Schools either wrapped up or quickly wrapping up. Can you tell us a little bit of what do you have planned for the summer when it comes to education? Or are you one of those people that says, hey, I need to debrief, I need to deflate a little, I need to just relax, recharge, and re-up on my family life? What's going on with you?
Well, a couple of things. I'm actually prepping for a PD I have tomorrow on Wednesday, and it's going to be around makerspaces. And I'm working with science department, and we're trying to integrate more makerspaces in the school. And then I'm doing a PD next week at a local college. They're looking to they're doing some science, technology, STEM stuff, and someone asked if I wanted to come in and maybe do something on makerspaces. So I'm doing something there too. I'm going to a leadership conference that's happening at USC, my alma mater, where I went to grad school. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm trying to get my conference game up.
When you were at USC, who was there? Was that the Lane Kiffin years?
I was there for Lane Kiffin. Lane Kitten. I was there for him.
Lane Kitten.
And that's it. I'm not as busy as some of you guys are. A lot of you guys have a lot going on. And then I'm doing some, I'm doing some edupreneur stuff, some stuff with my own business. I'm trying to revamp that. And so that's what I'm going to be doing and getting myself ready to work on more maker spaces next year.
Can you tell us a little bit about your edupreneur? What's going on with that? What do you got?
So I have an organization. It's called Pivot Ed, pivoted.net, and we work with student athletes. We work with student athletes to combine education and athletics to shift their mindsets. and just doing work so student athletes don't just focus on the athletic side, but they're also working on the academic side, and they're really building up their social capital so they can go to these universities when they get scholarships and be more than just student athletes.
Yeah.
So that's the work we're doing, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And you know, the phys ed and health community loves their athletes. So if you ever need some help, you know, hit us up, see what we can do, and let's get that rolling. So I'd love to hear.
I will reach out, sir.
Yeah, a lot of times we get these student athletes that think they're going to make it to big time, and you know, because they're big time in their town, and I wouldn't put all my apples in that cart. That's just me.
Yeah.
What's the percent? Like less than 0.5%?
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
But think about it. You can get a scholarship. You can go to Division I. You can go Division II. You can go wherever, and like have a great time, kill it. You know, start your own business, get tons of different folks in your network, and do that while you're still hot on campus. But you know, student athletes don't do that. So that's the work that we're doing.
And now they'll have a model that they can go look at and find out. That is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tool, everybody, give him a little round of applause.
Thanks for the opportunity, Justin. I appreciate this.
Dude,
Thanks for jumping in.
good man. So we have Lori and Minka out of Delaware. Now, I don't know exactly what goes on in Delaware. I've been to the state fair there before. Saw Paula Dean and her butter. Sticks of butter hanging out. Next to that, I think you are the biggest thing that's going on in Delaware education right now. So please tell us, what do you have going?
I have a lot of summer projects on my to-do list. I want to catch up on Slow Chat PE and Slow Chat Health. I haven't seen like the last 6 or 8 weeks because I've been green screening and having a blast doing it. And I'm going to try to do in-class flips where I can be teaching the students through green screen what I want them to know and understand while I'm doing other things and project that up. I enjoyed doing it so much. Like 2 years ago, it was my goal to get better with video, and I tried, but nothing really worked. But green screen, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and you can pop anything you want behind you. You can put Nick knows because we're in like green screen boxer chats together. So it's just awesome. Like you can add websites, you can put music, you can put audio, you can put pictures, images, anything that you want, and it's just amazing. So
what program are you using for?
I tried Do Ink, I tried Bscope, and I settled with TouchCast. It's free, and it's just been amazing. I only know like a tip of the iceberg and was able to create some okay things to share out. Like it's the first time that I ever felt comfortable sharing out my work.
What's up? What's up with your background? What did you use for the actual screen?
Just a cloth, Kevin Tiller on General PE Voxer. I think he recommended just a cloth, and I got an iPad stand that was recommended by the PE Geek, and it all just came together. Now it took me a while to get used to it, but once I kind of got the hang of it, everything started to fall in place. So a specialist from Ohio like actually wanted to Skype and we couldn't, so and we connected on Twitter, and so I agreed to do a green screen project, and I ended up giving her like 37 minutes of content within a couple weeks. So it was fun. It was cool.
That's cool. I like TouchCast, and I think what's really cool about TouchCast is any solid background it'll erase and then put the green screen background in, which I thought was pretty cool. And I've messed with all of them. One program I really liked was Green Screen Wizard. That was a cool program, but it costs money, and it's definitely not cheap.
I know. We know you like free.
Yeah, I like free. So TouchCast is cool, and I know Brad Gustafson out of Minnesota is a big TouchCast guy, and he used to do some TouchCast stuff going on. And I'm looking at Two Tools got some kind of crazy painting going on over there. What's that painting up there, Two Tool?
my battery's dying, so I have to get my charger. Sorry.
Got to get your game on. No worries, no worries. So again, love green screen. Now, what content are you pushing out through the green screen? Give us an example, if you could, please.
Well, I did like just a little commercial demo for, I actually put in a proposal for the Colonial Tech Conference and got accepted. So I just did like a little 55-second commercial for that. And then for Kim Adams through Twitter, I just put out for her PD day at the end of their school year. I just put how we at William Penn integrate technology into health and physical education, and including my visually impaired students. How we use technology to kind of further their efforts.
Nice.
So
that's a cool conference. I like that. We went last year. We saw Richard Byrne keynote, which if you do not follow, Free Tech for Teachers, the website, by far, he makes Alice Keeler look like she don't even know what she's doing out there. So definitely check out Richard Byrne. Free Tech for Teachers. It is the greatest tech website I've ever come across. Love that dude. He's fantastic. And like I said, the conference that Lori's talking about, Nick and I went last year. I don't think I'm going to be able to go this year, even though I got accepted to present, because I have the late conference and then I'm flying out to Vegas because Heidi Carr hooked it up. And Sarah and I will be doing the keynotes. It's just too much time away from the family. So something had to drop, unfortunately. Nick,
yeah, I'm gonna try to head back if I can. Depends upon the dates and what we have going on family wise, but I'll definitely try to head out.
So what do you have going on this summer?
Well, let's see here. Doing a little bit. Laura and I have been talking here lately about green screen stuff. So that's definitely something that working on improving upon for next year. So we're really going to focus on TouchCast a bit and try to learn a little bit more this summer on some of the different features about TouchCast. So actually incorporating the touch points to make it interactive, using some of the embed features or V apps and stuff. So like putting in live Twitter feeds, putting in videos and do like some picture-in-picture and all that sort of stuff. So
Nick, did you use the remote from the Apple phone yet, or the iPhone?
I haven't.
Did you try that?
No, it's sitting right here on my phone. So I do have it. There it is.
Okay. It actually worked. Like you can, if you're by yourself, you can like turn the iPad on and off, and then it has like a laser beam or a laser pointer that you can actually circle things on the screen. So
shooting laser beams. Shooting
laser. You know what I mean.
Yeah, but I also want to use the multicam too, so you can actually have multiple cameras hooked up. So you can actually, if you have 3 cameras hooked up, somebody could be doing the regular news feed in the center, and then you kick to the camera on the side, and that person could be doing the weather. Kick to the other camera, that person could be doing the sports, and it all puts it together as one seamless.
Didn't somebody do that for the Sport Ed model for their? They kind of put it out in Boxer. They actually had multiple cameras going when they had their.
That was Dave.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
that was Dave.
Yeah.
Collaborcam.
Yeah, Collaborcam, which is kind of cool. That's multiple cameras that you could switch from throughout.
Right.
As long as you're on the same Wi-Fi, you could go from camera to camera throughout your whole school. So yeah, Collaborcam was really cool. I didn't get a chance to mess with that this year, but I thought that would be really nice if we did a phys ed day or a phys ed hour and everybody was doing some movement at the same time. If we could get that on video and just go boom, 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 click on all the different cameras that were hooked up. And if you have iPads, get the Collaborcam, hook up to the Wi-Fi. Every single room would have a video ready to be taken right there.
2017, Boston.
Oh, that would be good. That would be good about that.
We might have to.
Right.
And then we're getting Penn State created a green screen kind of program. It's called the One Button Studio. So basically they tried to dummy down green screening and creating videos for people. So supposedly my building's getting one for next year. Since we got a grant for our green screen stuff this year, they're going to pilot it with us, And so you can do live broadcasts or you can record it. So basically you have to have the room already set up. So you have, there's like a projector in the ceiling, and it will project a green light, blue light, or no light. And that creates your background on any surface, like any plain wall. And then it has the microphones are built in, and they're built into the ceiling as well. And I can't remember what else, but all you do is you simply take a USB drive and you plug it in, and it literally has a single round button. You hit the button, it counts down like 3, 2, 1, and it starts to record. And then it'll record everything. When you're done, you hit the button to stop, and then you just pull your thumb drive, and then you can plug it in to into any computer and upload and then edit with any software that you want. So I'll see if I can find the link and drop it in here. It's called the One Button Studio. It's created through Penn State. So we're supposedly getting one of those. So pretty excited about that.
I keep asking my principal for an innovative learning lab, but haven't got one yet. So
yeah, we're also
that's what we need.
Part of our grant was our mobile STEM lab, so we're working on that. We're going around to some garage sales, yard sales over the summer, trying to pick up some old Legos that people are getting rid of. So picking them up that way, nice and cheap. We have our Sphero and Ollie. We have some little bits. So I brought some of that stuff home to play with over the summer to kind of try to come up with some activities for our teachers and stuff to be able to work on next year. So not really phys ed related, but still some pretty cool stuff.
Has nothing to do with phys ed. We're educators. We're teachers. We teach.
Yeah. So,
Nick, I just wanted to jump in and tell you that we've had that One Button Studio from Penn State.
Yeah.
It is super easy.
Yes.
And it's so fun to take a teacher who is not tech savvy at all, give her little flash drive that she really feels comfortable with, and say, open the door. There's one spot. Plug it in, and there's one
hit
button.
the button.
It's like the big red easy button.
Right.
They bang the button, and all of a sudden, all at one time, the lights, microphone, everything drops, and they just start talking. When they're done, they bang, hit the one button, everything zips away. They pull their flash drive out, and they have their entire clip. It's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. So I'm glad to hear somebody else has used it and
Probably about
they like
3 or
it.
4 years now.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited to get it. Have you?
I would love to, that because it was a brand new thing, and the local university got them to put it in down here. So I'm so glad to know they're doing it in K-12.
Yeah, I hear a lot of universities actually have it. That's kind of what I saw is like a lot of universities, but I haven't heard many schools having it. It doesn't mean that they don't. I just haven't heard of it. So here's my question, or 2 questions. One, how easy is it to edit the video? Once you take it, plug it in, can you edit it in any program?
Easy. It's a file. You can put it in. Now I use the YouTube Creator.
Oh, okay.
Creator Studio and YouTube, and chop up things and add music and add words and images between it. So super easy.
And then my second question is, have you used the live function of it to do a live podcast? Okay. So I was curious how that works because I think it requires an app on the end of whoever's going to watch, but I wasn't sure how that actually works.
I have not, but that's something now that you've mentioned that I should go check out.
All right, very cool. Very cool. Awesome.
And this is Christy Kate, 1/4 of DCTV 30 right there. One of my go-to tech ninja peoples out there in the world. Lady kills it. She does PD for everyone. So great job.
Yes, to Tool, I know that he was mentioning his makerspace. He and I kind of communicated a little bit earlier this week. Tomorrow, I'm meeting with a brand new principal who is working on his culture, establishing a relationship when he enters the school. And then we have a day of Breakout EDU, a day of Makerspace, and a day of Google Classroom. So it's going to be a full week. We're really excited.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, really, really good stuff going on. And if you don't know about Breakout EDU, probably one of the things I got most excited about when I did that. Really, really cool. And then once you do it once, you can kind of create your own and tailor it to phys ed. That's definitely on my bucket list of things to do.
And that's what we're doing. In the morning, teachers are experiencing the teacher introspection. There's about 60-something games now in Sandbox to play with. So I tweaked them a little bit, but we're experiencing what it's like as a teacher to want to accept that failure can be okay, to want to accept change in the environment, to want to push a student to pursue their own passion. And then in the afternoon, we're spending a whole day designing around our content areas. So hopefully they will leave with one good breakout lesson plan tied to, in our case, it's the TEKS, kind of like the Common Core, but they're standard that they have the weakest impact with at the moment is what we're focusing on. So should be fun.
Love it. Data-driven PD right there. Got it.
Hey,
Absolutely love it. What's
Justin,
up?
before I forget, because it slipped my
Yes.
mind a couple of times, one of the other things that we were just chatting about today was the update that is going to be coming out, I think, July, or in a couple weeks here. So the portfolio aspect coming to Class Dojo for this year. So I know something brand new that's on its way. So be interested to see what that looks like. I know we got some SeeSaw fans in here, you and me included. So kind of interested in what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know my feelings on Class Dojo. I feel like that's just operant conditioning. Teacher controls everything. I know there's positive reinforcement behind it as well. You can go both ways on it, but not a huge Class Dojo person. If it's free and they're talking about year to year, you can go with the digital portfolio. That would be cool. That would make it cool. Right now, I don't see anything needing to be replacing SeeSaw just because of I love the functionality, the ease of it. But if Class Dojo does everything plus more, I would give it a look. You know, I'm not tied to anything one way or the other, especially when SeeSaw charges you to go from 1 year to the next, which, you know, they're a company. They got to make money. I understand. I'm not against that. Just if Dojo did it for free, I'd have to jump onto the Dojo bandwagon.
One of my goals this year was to use Weebly and create a portfolio page where the students' Weeblies are free, just a website maker. And I wanted them to blog, but I wanted to do a year of blogging first, which I did. Reflection page, I called it, and a no rules blog. But I think now that I'm comfortable with both, Schoology has the option to create portfolios, but I still they can't walk away with that portfolio. So I think the best way to go for students right now to create a digital footprint and to have something they can take with them is use a free tool like Weebly to create their own portfolio page and just make sure they get their best work there, whether it be reflection, writing, like, working on the PV legs rubric for public speaking is really important. So I wanted to get some of their green screen videos in that portfolio. And it should be, I think that would be the best way to go for me. I've been looking at everything. I use Dojo, listened to your Boxcast about SeeSaw, and tried Schoology, and I still think the best way right now for me is just Weebly. So,
which is interesting.
I mean, I guess whatever works,
Schoology, you guys put a lot of money behind Schoology.
But they can't take it with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I like, and I forget, and as we were talking here this week, I know a couple of people have asked me about do you use Google Classroom or do you use SeeSaw or both? And my answer has always been both, because I think they provide you with two totally different, platforms. For me, I use, Classroom more for me to be pushing out content for my students. But I think using both allows, for me, I've had my students, stuff that they've put into SeeSaw, I've also had them back up and save it's in their drive. So they do have a lot of that work that they're creating, and it is kind of backed up within their Google account, which they will have through the time that they graduate high school. So, I try to make sure, and I know our technology teacher, he always makes sure that they put it in there, put it in both places for that reason. I think SeeSaw is great because you can see it. It's right there. It's boom, right in front of you, as opposed to posting the link and then having to follow the link out to, Google Drive to see the video or wherever else, or to YouTube or whatever you post it on. But, I think using both, because they offer, totally different options.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Classroom and SeeSaw together are really, really powerful. And I really like the idea. Right before you were saying, I was thinking they could take the video and then they could put it into their drive and they could upload it to SeeSaw. It wouldn't take too much extra work to do that. And then you said, yeah, that's what they're doing over there. So I do like that. For me, I love the fact, if nothing else with SeeSaw, it goes right to the parents. And I know Dojo does that as well. On there, Jorge is bringing up the fact about what about gamification? What else would you use besides Dojo? No, you're right. Class Dojo would be huge if I did gamification, which I don't. I find it very difficult for me as a specialist to do it. I think if I sat in a classroom with a group of kids all day, I would be much more apt to go with gamification. I haven't really wrapped my head around it enough, and I, to be honest, just don't want to put in the time to do it. But I see the benefits of it, and Dojo would work really well with it. So again, no reason to just say SeeSaw or Google Classroom. Do both. The fact of written assignments, which I know we're phys ed, but we're also health, and even in physical education, still need to type out some stuff. The fact that I can store stuff in the Google Classroom folders is huge, absolutely huge. So, and we got some Snapchat people. Kristen.
Okay, so several people have been asking. My favorite thing to do with Snapchat is it's the quickest tool to make quick videos that are mushed together already. There's no splicing required. There's no need to worry about cutting different clips and putting them together. It puts them together for you. And then you download it, upload it into YouTube, add music behind it, share that link out. I do not think that I would use it as a teacher to have students necessarily snap back and forth with me at this point. But even if I don't use it to snap a story up, it's my quickest way to do some kind of help document or screen moment for somebody. Take a picture of something, draw it really quickly, download it to my camera roll and text it to them. Here's what you need to do. Take a picture of my screen and go. It's the fastest way for me to do that. So I use it as a production tool and not necessarily as a social media platform.
I love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. For me, the number one thing keeping me from Snapchat is that I have to turn notifications on, and notifications kill my battery life. I just don't have enough battery right now to keep up with everything. And I don't have enough battery as it is, and I don't have any notifications on. I have my texts. That's it. I don't get a notification for Twitter. I don't get one for Voxer. I don't get one for email. And my battery, I have an iPhone 6 Plus, and my battery still is, eats away because I'm on Voxer all the time and checking out Twitter and doing else. So I don't have the time or the battery life to mess with Snapchat. And I was in the Snapchat group. Y'all are killing it, doing some really cool stuff. The documentation through Snapchat, like you're talking about, is fantastic. I love that. I don't have the time.
I don't have any notifications for it, but I do at the end of the day or in a break check any stories. I think Stacy Lovedahl has done a great job doing backyard science for her students. That concept of taking pictures, what is this, figure this out, and she has the clip. But once again, they don't have to follow you on Snapchat if you don't want them to. Download it and send it via YouTube. And it's all put together and with the writing already on there and multiple steps in one spot. Those snaps, if you will, are all already put together in one clip.
That's cool. So that way you don't have to do the file transfer pro when I get home, put it into iMovie, mess around, do all that. Because I don't need like super professional looking stuff, with all transitions and writings. I just basically want to show, for a lot of it's my conferences. Like, hey, this is what I did. This is where I went. This is what's going on.
I'm the world's worst at forgetting to turn my phone this direction. I don't know why. So unfortunately, a lot of my Snapchats are done vertically instead of horizontally, but it will let you take horizontal snaps. And I took a 6-hour workshop, little snaps of what I did one day. And in the end, I had a 4-minute clip already done.
Ready to go and posted.
Might have to check it out. For me, it's just been like, all right, one more tool, one more thing for me to try to figure out and see how to use. And it was kind of that way with Twitter at first and everything else at first until I found the value.
It took me like a year to get on Twitter.
Yeah, until
maybe a year and a half.
the relevance of it, or until you see the need for it. like for us, I think we enjoy knowing the tech. So I got on Snapchat, I looked at it, kind of messed around. I have a general idea. I'm not an expert at all, but I enjoy knowing about it. And then in the future, if I could find a way to put in my class that's going to help me, that's fine. If not, listen, learning new tech's never a bad thing. So I don't have any problems there. So
Well, and Tutul is famous for using the word shenanigans. And if you ever follow Cynthia Day, I follow her for stress relief because she's hilarious. She will try every single filter every day and every single lens every day to see what it's going to do, but she'll tell you about her day using those moments. And I think that like, and I know some of the stories right now, obviously they've done an homage to Orlando. So you can get current events from Snapchat as well, which is kind of interesting and cool. And if I actually had my high school students rather than teachers right now, and they were able to tell me a little bit about current events because they watched the Snap story, I'd be thrilled. I would be thrilled in my history class.
yeah, Cynthia is a really, really funny lady. Definitely follow her, talk to her. She makes me laugh a lot on there.
She actually got me into, there's a Voxer green screen group, and Nick, I mentioned that to you, so I'll try to get you in that one. Yeah, I will get you. We can always like call upon Cynthia, so I'll share your username. So.
All right. So we
I'll
are.
let somebody else jump in.
All right, thank you, Christy Kate.
Thank you, Christy, as always.
Yeah, Christy Kate, fantastic lady. Absolutely love her.
Snapchat is now on my summer to-do list.
Finishing up, there you go. Finishing up for the show. Jorge wanted to know, through EduMatch, which always have a lot of love for EduMatch out there. Heidi out there asked if I would do a keynote. So Sarah's doing the opening keynote, and I'm doing the closing keynote. It is in Las Vegas, September 30th to October 1st. And I believe Johan is going to come out there and help support me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is cool. So I think he will be there, and hopefully wifey will go out with me, which is always pleasant. And it'll be a nice trip.
You able to wrangle up somebody to watch the Minions?
Yeah, the kids are good. I have to pony up for an extra plane ticket. That's the only killer right now. So depending on how the summer goes, I'm working like a nut. So, all right. Final thoughts, Mr. Enlick, before we get rolling. Anything else?
Just, hey, summertime's great time to get those projects going, but don't overdo it. There's tons of stuff out there. You're not going to be able to get everything done. So find the thing that you are the most passionate about first. Sit down, work on it, make it good. If you have time to get to anything else, great. But I've made the mistake in the past of dabbling in 5 different things and never accomplishing one of them because I'm just trying to do too much. So don't try to do too much. Do what you can and pick what's most important and get her done.
Absolutely. Lori, any last words?
I think that was great advice. I'll keep tweeting and keeping you posted on my green screen efforts, and hope all will go well. So thanks for having me. I'll follow your lead.
And as always, the same thing I say every week, the fact that you spent 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 seconds, whatever it is, of your time watching, listening to us, whether it's live or on recordings, we greatly appreciate. Time is our biggest commodity, and the fact that you all give it to us is great. So thank you very much. Have a good day, and we are out.
See you next week.